Hi, this is part 3 of my Bioshock 2 review. In part 2, I left off talking about hacking. Now, hacking was a big part of the first game. It is also a big part of the second game. In the first game, what you had was a mini game that involved you were taken to a screen that showed a grid of different shaped tubes, and you needed to place those tubes in a certain order because there was a blue liquid that was flowing. No matter what you did, it didn't stop. You had to get the liquid from one point, one side of the grid, to another by putting the tubes in the right order to make sure it flowed properly. There are a lot of things to hack in Bioshock. You can hack cameras, you can hack turrets, you can hack vending machines, you can hack bots. So you ended up spending a lot of your time looking at these tubes in Bioshock 1. Well, I think a lot of people felt that way, that you spent too much time looking at tubes. So they went ahead and they changed hacking for the better. They improved it. What does it consist of now? In Bioshock 2, the new hacking system, one of the greatest things about it is that it doesn't take you out of the game for a moment. Just like in the first game where you were looking at a separate screen altogether, in this game, once you start hacking, you're still in the game. Every moment that you're hacking, everything's happening in normal time. Everything's still occurring. Enemies are still shooting at you. Whatever's there is happening. Basically what happens is the way you hack is you can still walk up to a device and press X and start hacking, but you have this new weapon called the hack tool. You can also shoot a hack dart at a device if you're at a distance and hack it from a distance. But what appears on your screen when you start hacking is it's sort of like an expanded metronome, metronome. And on the display is kind of a grid. Okay, there are lines, and each portion of the grid is a different color. The colors can be white, red, green, or blue. And as the needle moves across, you have to press the button in either the green zone or the blue zone. If you hit the green zone or the blue zone, you progress to the next stage, which is simply another level of hacking with different colored zones. But in the second stage, well, maybe the green section is a little smaller. Maybe it's surrounded by more red. And if you hit the red, then security comes after you with bots. If you hit the white, you simply just take damage. And if you take too much damage, you die. So, again, the hacking, the game is always on while you're hacking. It can be frustrating at times if you don't. There are buffs that you can use in terms of gene tonics to help you hack better. Well, whether it be the needle moves slower, or the green sections expand, or there are less stages, meaning you don't have to keep hitting the green section or the blue section. The blue section, by the way, gives you bonus items. Say you're hacking a vending machine and you hit a blue section. Once you complete the hack, a free item pops out of the vending machine. If you hit the blue while you're hacking a turret, the turret's a little bit stronger, things of that nature. So I think it's a fantastic way to improve the previous hacking system. I love being able to hack everything. I hack everything in the game, no matter what, as should you. There's no reason not to. You make everything work for you as opposed to against you. So since it's a big portion of the game, they really went a long way to try and improve that aspect of it. And kudos to them for that. Now, that's what's good. That's what was good about this game. There's a couple of other things. I mean, the graphics, they're great. I mean, they're just as good as the first game. I didn't see that they were that much better than the first game. I mean, I haven't put that in quite a while, but they're still quite good. The voice acting, terrific, as it was in the first game. Not for a moment did you ever realize that you were listening to a video game. I mean, all the voice acting is top notch. Was there anything bad about Bioshock 2? There were a couple things. For one, for me, the music that they use in the game, the commercial music, kind of that old 40s, 50s jazz style kind of tunes. Don't really do it for me. And I played on hard, without Vita Chambers. Complete playthrough. I finished the game, and there were a couple times when I died quite a bit, and you hear the same song every time you die on the loading screen, and the loading screens are a little bit long if you die. Overall, in terms of loading screens, there were probably 4 or 5 loading screens throughout the entire game. And the entire game might take you between 15 and 20 hours. For me, that is, because I tend to do everything there is to do in the game. If you simply wanted to shoot through the story, you could probably do it in less than 15 hours. But there was the music. There are some scenes that take place in the game that I had some audio issues, audio popping in and out. And there were probably 3 or 4 of those scenes that took place in. It was kind of annoying, but it wasn't too bad. So overall, the game is great. There's really nothing too bad to say about Bioshock 2. It's a fantastic game, and you should pick it up. If you haven't played Bioshock 1, pick them both up. Play Bioshock 1, then play Bioshock 2. And overall, this game is a definite buy simply because of the single player. If they hadn't have added multiplayer, I would have been okay with it. I wasn't expecting them to add multiplayer to Bioshock 2 when I was waiting for it after the end of Bioshock 1, but they did. And let me talk about that for just a moment. I mean, I didn't really take too many notes on the multiplayer. I played it for probably 2 or 3 hours. I played probably 15 rounds, tried 5 different game types. It's not Modern Warfare with magic. It's not a Halo killer. It's fun. The character models are a little, they're not great, but it's kind of fun. You get your own little apartment where you can use to switch out your weapons, and you go into a bathysphere. You start your match. You basically just run around. You get guns. You get plasmids as you level up. You get different guns and different plasmids that you can use. You get different gene tonics that you can use to buff your character up. And the one thing that I really don't like about these types of games where you have level progression, XP, and characters able to gain different skills, guns, powers, is that even with matchmaking, they try to even up the teams, which is great, but there's always going to be somebody that is a higher level on the other team that has better prepared, better powers, higher level, better guns. Because they're high level, they have better equipment and better powers. And 9 times out of 10, if you run into them in the hall, you're going to die first. So I don't know if there's a way for games to just maybe put people in a room based on just the level. All level 3s, all level 4s. I mean, maybe it's asking too much, but I don't know. That's the way it should be for me. I mean, I understand, if you get to level 20 and you're the only one, then how are you going to play a game? But I don't know, maybe there's a better way. Maybe you have a better way. Let me know. So overall, Bioshock 2, way to go 2K for putting a great sequel out there. And go ahead and pick it up. And I can't wait for Bioshock 3. And thank you for watching.